Hit record. All right, good evening, Inspired Beauty. Happy Monday. It is the last Monday of August. We are wrapping up our inviting series this month with the last piece to the puzzle, which is inviting to coaching. We've talked through every in and out this month of how you can get over the fear of inviting, how you can look at it differently and shift your mindset to see it as empowerment. We've talked about various scripts you can use and just ripping off that Band-Aid and just doing it. We've talked about how your social media platform will help you to proactively invite people easier and more authentically because you are building those vulnerable, real relationships by sharing your authentic journey. So we've talked all through that, and really, that's all kind of geared in a sense towards the challenge group aspect of inviting to purchase a challenge pack or join a upcoming challenge group, right? So what we're going to gear our content towards tonight is really just shifting towards coaching. Now, we have a sneak peek. I'm going to go ahead and share our screen. We have a sneak peek coming up here on Wednesday. It is going to be the hour-long sneak peek like we've seen before, where it just kind of happens in that hour time frame, and we allow people to ask questions live in the moment and to tag their person who had invited them in, and we're going to do it in that format on Wednesday night. So after hearing this tonight, like if there's one thing you do tomorrow or even tonight when you get off the call, depending on what your schedule looks like, invite people to this opportunity, right? Just for the next couple days, use the content, use the knowledge, use the skills that I am giving you tonight to invite to this opportunity. And then next month, you'll already be in your own little marketing calendar, right? When you know, okay, the event's coming up on this date, you know in advance that you can start inviting to it. So tonight we're talking about how to invite. Now, before I get into anything, you guys, none of this is going to matter if fear stands in your way, whether it's fear of somebody saying no, or fear of what other people are going to think of you, or fear of just flat out failing. It's going to hold you back. So if you are afraid to invite, if you've been, especially the business, and for some reason people are more fearful of inviting to the business side of things than they are necessarily inviting to, let's say, a challenge group or a free group, right? So it's like the business stuff kind of holds people back. Well, that's just fear, you guys, because at some point somebody reached out to you and invited you. And in most other worlds, I want you to consider this. When a football player is recruited, right? When someone is recruited to a university because of their skill set, if, like I said, a football player or a sports athlete is recruited, they have a certain skill set that that person's looking for. When somebody is recruited to join Google or Facebook, those people who are recruiting saw a skill set in someone else, saw some characteristics of them that help to say, you know what, you would be perfect for this job. So when we start thinking of recruiting as like almost the world's biggest compliment, then it kind of helps to take that edge off of it being like icky or salesy or this or that, or I'm just trying to get you on my team and build this team up. No, we don't just try to get people on our team to build a team up. That wouldn't help anything. What we want to do is we want to bring somebody into our family, into our community, to support them, to love them, to meet them where they're at, and to show them that they have a lot more potential in them. We are in the business, guys, of building wealth, not just wealth, financial wealth, but wealth, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Like we are trying to make people rich in life. And so if you start to see it as you're giving somebody a gift and a compliment, when you say, you know what, there's this thing I do, and I don't ask everybody, but I think you'd be really good at it. It kind of takes that edge off. So if fear is holding you back, before I get down and dirty with everything tonight, I want you to plug into some personal development, and I grabbed some books that personally have helped me with confidence and also just skills that you have to deal with when network marketing, okay? You are a badass. A lot of us have read this on the team. If you need it again, read it again. I am not too proud to say I've read this book a couple times. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown is really great, okay? You can even watch her TED Talk that is very closely related to that book. John C. Maxwell's Failing Forward is a really great book because it takes your mind and it flips it to see that failing is actually part of the process and the path to success. And so it makes it feel a little bit better when, rather than marking and labeling ourselves as a failure when we mess up, you say, okay, that didn't work. That means I must be getting closer, right? Go for no is a really great one. I actually have it on my phone on an audio, on Audible, and I'll listen to that from time to time in the car when I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll listen to that again, because it's a really quick read and it's in a story format, and it just really talks about how the more no's we get, essentially, the more yeses we're going to get, right? So going for no. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Really good book. And Go Pro by Eric Worre. That one is really great for Network Marketing 101. That's actually the very, very first book I read when I became a coach. My upline told me to get this book for a group that I had joined, a coach training group, and that's the book that I bought. And I still have it to this day, and I've read through it a couple of times, and it's really relevant to what we do as network marketers. But remember, with Beachbody, things are a little bit different in our MLM because we don't just stop at the sale. It continues on past that. So for us, there are some things that I would word differently in terms of their scripts and things like that. And like, we don't have parties, and I don't need to have like a big presentation in front of people at my house, in my living room about coaching, you know, stuff like that. Like, I don't really do shake parties or anything, right? So those kinds of things, I just kind of fine tune and put them more into the realm of what we do as coaches. But if you are struggling with fear of inviting, get into personal development. Okay, let's dive in. So who do I invite? When do I invite? And how do I invite people to the coaching opportunity? First and foremost, easiest, and I don't want to say target because that sounds like we're like trying to get people, but the easiest target is challengers. Why? Because they already know and love the products, and they already know and love you. So it's a lot easier to segue into the coaching opportunity. Also, truth be told, most people that are successful in this business, most people that are successful as coaches, there is a statistic on this, and I'm not going to give the numbers because I will butcher it, but I know that they've done research, and they have found that the majority of people who really actually stick with this were once challengers first. Now, there's exceptions to the rules, of course, right? I actually was not a challenger first, but the majority of people that end up sticking with this were actually a challenger first, fell in love with the results, committed, you know, understood the value of the product, and said, absolutely, I want to be part of this. So there's a couple ways you can talk to challengers about the coaching opportunity. First and foremost, you could tell them about this before they even sign up for the challenge pack. Here's a little script and a little like one-liner you can throw at them. So before you send them, like, they're ready to go. They're like, yes, I'm in. I want to do your challenge group. I'm going to buy the challenge pack. Send me the link. Okay, and you're ready to walk them through the steps or send them the link or whatever. Before you do that, say, awesome, I'm so excited. Would you like to sign up as a regular member or with the discount membership? You don't have to say as a, you know, as a challenger or a coach. You don't even have to use that word. You can just tell them about the discount. You could say, awesome, would you like to sign up as a regular member or with the discount membership? And they'll probably say, what's the discount membership? And you would say, if you think that you're going to be with me for more than 30 days, it'll be more cost effective to sign up for the discount membership because you'll get 25% off of all your products. It's free to sign up, and then you pay $15 a month to be that member, to be a part of, to have that membership. Yeah. So throwing that in there before they even sign up, because then they could say, you know what? Yeah, actually, I think I really need this. I'm definitely doing it this month, but I would love to be doing this more than just the 30 days. So yeah, saving money would be awesome. And then they get into Inspire Beauty, they get into our family, and then they might start to see the potential of the business side. But they also don't have to see the potential of the business side. They can simply just love the discount, right? And so this is a harmless way, whether or not they decide to work the business or not, you can talk about that like down the road. You don't have to talk about it that day, but this is a great way to get them already plugged into our community and loved on and supported that much more. Okay, so before they even sign up, you can really target a challenger just with that simple one-liner. Another way is during the challenge group, when their Shakeology is about to renew, you can either email them, text them, give them a call, send them a message on Facebook, whatever, but remind them that their Shakeology is renewing. And you can say, hey, you know, I just want to let you know that your Shakeology is renewing. I wanted to give you a heads up because I want to see how you're loving it. And if you want to switch flavors, I'd love to help you or pause it or cancel it. But if you're really loving it, I would love to help you get this for 25% off. So you can send them a message reminding them that their shakes are renewing and that if they want it renewed, you can help set them up with a discount for it. Okay. Another way is one-on-one reach outs. So when you see them stepping up in leadership in the group, let's say they're posting their sweaty selfie every day, or they're sharing a recipe for their shake, commend that. Reach out one-on-one, whether it's in the app and sending a message via the app or texting them or messaging them on Facebook, but commend them for their efforts and let them know, like, wow, girl, you're really rocking it. Like, thank you so much for all those awesome shake recipes. That is helping the group so much. You have no idea. And start to breadcrumb that. Start to give them little tidbits of how they are stepping up in leadership, because you're starting to then instill the fact that they have what it takes to do what you do, because they're already displaying that behavior. Okay. And then if that person, to take it a step further, if that person who's stepping up in leadership is really, really rocking it, you can give them tasks that coaches already do. Like, hey, I saw that you shared that that story about your workout today. Oh my gosh, that would be like ridiculously inspiring on your social media. Would you feel comfortable sharing that on social media and tagging me in the post? Boom, you're already teaching them how to do coach behaviors, right? Or you could give them a task that coaches already do, like, hey, if you're asking them for recommendations, if they give you a bunch, like, my sister wants to do this, my cousin, my roommate from college, my high school bestie, dude, you should do what I do then, because you would make commission off of those sales, right? So if you give them a task like inviting, and they already show up with a bunch of people, well, you know that they're a shoo-in for this. Another pro tip for giving them tasks that coaches already do, maybe you want to step it up a level and you recommend books for them to read. And if you see them really taking ownership and purchasing a personal development book or listening to a podcast and really soaking in that knowledge, and you're watching them do that, they're perfect for the business. They're perfect for our team, right? So everybody, you could offer the opportunity and the discount to everybody, but those people that you're reaching out to one-on-one that you see step up in leadership, because not every challenger will step up in leadership, you should still offer the discount to a challenger at the end of the month, towards the end of their month. Like I said, the reminding them that Shakeology is renewing. But if they're off the radar, if they're off the path, do you really think that they're going to step up and be a great team player? Chances are probably not. And I'm not going to, label it. I'm not going to say that absolutely no, they wouldn't be, but chances are probably not. And so when you see those people that are like stepping up and rocking it, encourage that. Encourage that person, and then start giving them tasks that coaches already do, so that when they come back to you and say, oh, I could never do what you do. And you're like, well, you actually already did this. That's one of the things I do every day. And you're already doing this, and you already know these people would love it, So then you're building their confidence up. So challengers are the first and foremost place to look. The next place is your public posts. Now, this is funny because you might think like that I need, once a month I'm going to post publicly about the coaching opportunity. And I really want us to reframe our mindset around this. Okay? I want you to start running your social media like a sneak peek. For example, if you get an objection from somebody about not having any time, why don't you go on your social media and make a post about what you do in your day that makes you so busy, but how you still find time to be a coach, right? Breadcrumbing in those things, those objections, how it's affected your life will help those people who have those hesitations. You'll always have those hesitations and objections. You'll always get that. But when you run your social media like a sneak peek into coaching, people are going to start watching and saying, you know what? I think I could do that. You know what? Yeah, she's busy, so am I, but you know what? She's making it happen. I bet I could do that too, right? And remember that people truly have no clue what you do. I guarantee if like we surveyed my friends list on Facebook and said, what do you think Brittany does for a living? They would make something up, but they probably wouldn't know. She is a beach body coach. She is a network marketer. Like that probably would not be their answer. So you have to show them over and over and over again. And if you're only posting about the coaching opportunity, like if you only post about it tonight before you go to bed because of this call, and you only post about it tomorrow, and you only post about it on Wednesday, and then you stop posting about it for all of September until you get down to the next coach opportunity, nobody's going to want to join your coach up, right? So when you are planning on the end of September will be when our next coach sneak peek is after this one, you're going to want to make sure throughout the month of September, you're breadcrumbing them to know that that's what you do, showing them over and over and over again. So ask yourself, if I went to your page right now, or if a stranger went to your page, right? Do I know you're a coach? Do they know you're a coach when they go to your page? If somebody brand new went to your page, do they know you're a Beachbody coach? Now, it doesn't need to be a billboard like Beachbody. I don't want that. But you should be talking about it enough that we know you're a coach. Or at least creating curiosity about what this Inspire Beauty thing is and what coaching is, right? You don't have to say Beachbody coach. But they should know that there's something about coaching in there. Okay. Do they know that you run groups? If a new person came to your page, would they know for a fact that you run groups and they can count on you to, when I'm finally ready, I can go reach out to Susie because I know that she's always running these groups every single month. Do they know that? And here's the kicker. This is the one I love. Ask yourself, does that person believe, based on your public posts, that they can do it too? Right? Because it's easy to watch somebody on social media and say, yeah, that's good for them. That's really good for them. But they don't know what my life's like. They don't know what I go through. I can't do what they do. I could never. Do you ever get that from you? Oh, I could never do what you do. What do you think I do? Like, I use fancy filters and photo editing apps. That's really what I do. That's what makes you think that I'm shiny, right? So offering them through your dialogue, through your content, through your stories, through your public posts on social media, you need to offer them the belief that they can do it too. Okay. Today I posted, I've been posting a couple different things, but I wanted to read just some examples to you so that you could hear kind of how I've crafted it. But I'm going to give a couple examples in a second, also beyond just my voice. But today at lunchtime, I figured it's Monday, it's lunchtime. Let me just give them a little story about what I used to deal with at lunch and what I don't deal with anymore. And so I put, I remember lunchtime just a few short years ago, standing up and eating while I'm making copies. Mind racing because I have students who will be at my door in 10 minutes and we've got a lot of content to cover. Lunch breaks are on my time now. I eat when I'm hungry. I take however long I need. I usually watch Food Network to clear my mind. Life is so different now, but it isn't impossible. I'll just leave you with this. 4 years ago, I didn't love what I did. I do now. I wake up excited to work. This isn't me trying to piss you off. This is me saying I love my job and you can too. So I'm offering that belief. I'm offering a story of something I've been through that maybe someone who's following me can relate to, right? Standing up, eating at the copier. Student's going to be at their class any second now, so they got to hurry, hurry, hurry. And of course, the copier breaks right when, they're almost done. And then how now I don't have to do that. And this is what my lunch looks like now. And I make it really calm, collected, fills my cup, right? And then I let them know that it's not impossible and that they can love their job. One more I wrote, if you could live your life over again, what would you do differently? See, I'm trying to get in their head. I want to get in their head about, yeah, you know what? There are some things I would do differently. Reflect more, risk more, be more present. So I'm talking about risking because I want them to know that, yeah, this is a risk. Absolutely. Staying in the same place is also a risk. Do things that would live on after you're gone. I truly believe what I do will live on after I am long gone. For me and for many others, I will most likely not wish that I had spent more time on my business. I work hard, I unplug, I take my pineapple float to the pool on a Monday. So I'm showing that on a Monday I can work really hard and get stuff done, but I don't have to be my business. I don't have to work 14 hours a day hating what I do. And I also know that if I can do it, you can do it too. So that is something that I want everybody to really start working on is, I think people are really great on our team about if you're outwardly working your business, that people know you're a coach and that they know you run groups. I think those first two we're doing pretty well with, guys. But I think in my heart of hearts, I don't think, and myself included, that we're offering that belief that that person on the other side of the screen can do it too. Here are some other public posts. Bonnie Engel is a really, 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 really great one to watch and follow because she uses her social media as a sneak peek every day. there is not a single post that she does not talk about the coaching opportunity, but it's never like, it's not always like sneak peek or join my team, or, you know, it's just giving those breadcrumbs of her life. So it says, someone said something tonight on our team call, a weekly call I host for our team. She said, when I was in the corporate world, I was no longer myself. I was my job. So already she's said team call. And then she kind of explains that it's a weekly call she hosts for her team. But I don't really know, okay, team call, weekly call. And then she's talking about when I was in the corporate world, I was no longer myself. I was my job. So this person, okay, it's not really a corporate world. See, she's giving some curiosity here. She and her husband are super successful coaches in my business who just recently both left their corporate jobs while raising 2 kids. That offers hope, that offers belief that somebody who has 2 kids and they have to raise them can do this too. This is why I love this business. It doesn't play favorites. It lets you live again. And most of all, it gives you back your identity. Lets you think outside that 9-to-5 box society put you in and told you that you could never be anything but that. So she's really tugging at those heartstrings right there for that person that thinks that that's all that there is for them, that there's nothing else. You guys, there is a better way, and no matter what the story you're telling yourself about why it just can't be you, I bet I can beat that. And then it goes on to talk more. Oh, I want to go back. This one, Melanie Mitchell. So she's our top coach in the network. Now this is her latest post about the business opportunity. Here's the deal. She's the top coach in the network. She can post things like this. I like these 2 things better because these don't say join my team, right? Now, Melanie can post stuff like this because she can get away with it at the place that she's at in her business. And they're not all like this, but she can post that she is this top level CEO because she is a top level CEO, right? We're not just put on this earth to just wake up, go to work, go through the motions. So again, you can read through these, but she talks about how she was raising babies. She had to be a good wife, but that she wanted more for her life, right? Down here, you've got Raina Odell. I love her too. And then she talked about how every job sucked the life out of her. And remember walking into one job just to quit that day, even though I was pregnant and needed the job. I was that miserable. So she's talking about her past jobs. Now, I understand because I've been there in my journey where you are still in a job, maybe that you don't like, so you can't really talk about that job, but you can talk about where you're going and you can take your followers on a journey with you. My followers have seen me as a classroom teacher. They saw me leave the classroom and move to California. My followers were with me when I joined Orange Theory because I needed to get out of the house because I started doubting if this thing was really for me. And then they saw me renew my spirit, leave Orange Theory and say, you know what? Yes, I can. And they've watched that. And so now I can kind of talk about past jobs. I can talk about teaching. I couldn't talk about teaching back then, but I could offer sympathy because I was going through it too. Like, where are my teachers at? This is what I did today, real talk. And talking about where I'm going. Okay. So even if you don't have a story, like I know all 3 of these ladies that are on the screen right now, you're probably like, well, Brittany, that's fine and dandy, but they're talking about, years ago before they made it big in the business. But it's okay. You can still craft stories about where you are. And then the other way, guys, that we're going to reach out to people, of course, beyond just our challengers, beyond just posting on social media, which it's fun to post on social media about the business opportunity, you guys, but I promise you, I rarely get coaches to sign up that way, honestly. Usually they're my challengers or private messages. So that one is really great because you never know who's watching and you never know who will reach out one time. And to weave it into your social media journey and to have it be a part of your day every day and thread it through that, I think that's really special. But private messages are also where it's at, guys. So some of your private messages, if you go through your Facebook friends list, if you pull out your list of all your people right now, or you print off your Facebook friends, I want you to figure out who your close friends are versus acquaintance. So if you had to give everybody on your Facebook list either a C for close or A for acquaintance, figure out all of that, right? And then the people who are your close friends, reach out to them, guys, and share how much you love Beachbody, how much you love Inspire Beauty, how much you love the challenge groups, what you loved about Team Cup Month, whatever it is, right? And what it's done to transform your life. Hey, girl, I'm thinking about you today. and then go into it. I don't know if you know, but I joined this team called Inspire Beauty, and it has transformed my life. I'm like so mega pumped about it, right? And then in the dialogue you're having with them, end with a low key question like this, saying something like, I adore you and would love to do this together. Can you imagine us taking trips and having a blast? Could you imagine going with me to Summit next year? Or could you imagine rocking it out and we both go on the Success Club trip in 2018 or in 2019, right? Could you imagine taking this trip to our team retreat? We'd have such a blast together. Oh my gosh, right? So ending it with something that makes them feel like they're part of something more, which they are, right? Again, we're not just trying to sign people to sign people. I want my best friends to be doing this with me. So letting them know what you're doing, what it's done for your life, and that you couldn't imagine doing it without them. Come on, girl, do this with me, right? Think of those people that you could reach out to and say that. The idea, though, guys, is to make it short, okay? Say something like, hey, I'm starting something really cool and I believe in it and would love for you to check it out. Like, short, to the point. The more we ramble on and on and on, then we give this thing and then we give all this stuff and then people are like, okay, I'm out. This is a lot. Because it is a lot. But all they need to know is that they're joining a community that will help them to be a healthier, happier version of themselves. That's it, right? So sometimes we tend to over give information in just a simple message. Make it short. The idea is just to let them know that there's this thing you'd love for them to try out and that you'd love to plug them into the sneak peek coming up, or you'd love to get on the phone with them or send them a video or whatever your method is going to be for teaching them about the coaching opportunity. You do not need to teach about the coaching opportunity in a message. If they're interested, plug them into a resource. Always plug them into a resource if they're interested. Okay, here's some more private invite examples. So this is more for, so again, these are close friends or people you've been talking to, forming relationship with. Hey, I wanted to let you know that I'm hosting a sneak peek into coaching on blank, whatever date. And you could say, if you're not hosting it, you could say that I'm co-hosting it. You could say my team's running a sneak peek. Whatever you want to say, just make it sound like if you're not hosting it, you don't have to say my upline is hosting. Brittany is hosting. I don't want them to be going to your upline. I want them to be either attracted to you and the fact that you're hosting it, or attracted to the fact that your team is running it together, right? You don't have to specifically say like, this coach on my team is running it and I'd love to plug you in, because then it's like, well, why? I don't care about that person, right? Okay, side note. I've always felt like this would be something you'd rock at because, and then insert a compliment for why they'd rock. So I've always felt like this would be something you'd rock at because you are the most genuine person I know and all you've ever wanted to do was help people, right? Insert a compliment there. Give them a reason for why they'd be great at this. I've always felt you'd rock at this because you are so inspiring on social media. I've always felt like this would be something you'd rock at because you love fitness so much. Why not make it your business, right? Would you be interested in learning more? And then I'd like to add PSs in there. Takes the edge off a little bit. And I'll add in something relevant to life. PS, I saw your birthday party on Saturday. It looked amazing. Was it fun? Or PS, the wedding you were in this weekend was gorgeous. Who was that friend? Or something, right? Just add in something relevant to their life. PS, your dog is freaking cute. How old is he or she? Add in a PS, something relevant to their life so that it's not just like Mr. Roboto salesy thingy doing, okay? And another line that you can just use is simply telling somebody, you would make an amazing coach. Have you ever considered doing what I do? That's a great one-liner for a challenger maybe, or somebody who's been in your groups before, or a friend that you know that is just really into fitness, okay? You would make an amazing coach. Have you ever considered doing what I do? So look at your convos. Less is more. When you're looking at your conversations that you have on social media, like I said, we don't want to word vomit everything. Give them a resource to go to that will give them the information. You are just asking if they would like to learn about it, right? So keep that in mind, because I have word vomited way too many times. And oftentimes the information is so complicated that it doesn't even come across right. I miss things. I might be scattered all over the place. So rather than giving them all the information, all you want to know is if they're interested. And if they are, you connect them to a resource. Again, Sneak Peek is a resource. Another resource would be getting on a phone call. If you're uncomfortable getting on a phone call, we could do three-way call with an upline, right? Another resource would be to send them a past call that's recorded live on my YouTube. If you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can grab some past What is Inspired Beauty calls and send them one of those. You could go to your Coach Online office and find one of their resources for the coach opportunity. There are so many, but do not give all the information in your message, okay? It's just too complicated. And make sure you're asking questions, right? You control it. You're in the driver's seat. You ask the questions. So if they ask a question, answer back with a question, right? Because you really want to get to know them and to see if this is truly right for you, okay? So here's some scenarios for the outcome, okay? And there's maybe one or two that maybe you haven't thought of before, because usually we just think yes. They're either going to say yes or they're either going to say no. But here's what happens. If it's perfect world, they will say yes. Oh my gosh, I would love to be added into the Sneak Peek. Or yes, I've actually really been considering coaching. I'd love more information. Perfect scenario. Yes, we get them signed up. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. But maybe the person says no. Okay, if they say no, this isn't for them, then you can ask for referrals. And a really cool part about asking for referrals is saying, I understand that this is just not something for you, but I'm really looking for women who are ready to help others and, just make a big difference in the world. Do you know anybody who's like that? And then all of a sudden, when you start to kind of label who it is that you want, who you're looking for, that person, that original person, you're also subconsciously kind of getting in their head, like, wait a second, I'm like that too though, So when you're like, no, I totally get it, I understand, but hey, let me ask you, I'm looking for women who are bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Do you happen to know anybody? That kind of gets in their head that, you know what, I am like that. So maybe their no is still standing today, but that doesn't mean that it won't come back later, right? Another no that you can go to, if they don't have any referrals for you, then you ask for follow-ups. Ask them if, hey, I know it's not for you right now, but this is something that I work through each month. I would love if I could follow up with you. Would you mind? And most of the time, I don't think I've ever had somebody tell me flat out, no, don't follow up with me. They usually say yes. And then mark it in your planner, mark it in your calendar, mark it in your tracking. That's why all of my dates are dated out through the end of the year. So that way I can go, okay, you know what? On Thursday, December 7th, I am going to follow up with Susie because she told me on November 6th that she couldn't do this month. So I'm going to check in next month. And then on December 7th, if she says no again, well, cool. Can I follow up with you in January when the new year hits? Maybe you'll be ready. Yeah, sure. And then I set it for January. And you know what? You follow up until that person tells you, listen, lady, listen, Linda, I'm sick of you, right? You follow up until then, okay? And then the last one, I just wanted to double check on my time really quick. I don't think the time's popped up yet. Okay, and then the last one is if they're saying no, if they said no through like 3 or 4 follow-ups, and or they are flat out ignoring you, you're sending message and you can see that they've read it, but as you send the message, they've read it, but they don't answer. This is where you can reach out to them and send them a message asking for their constructive feedback of how you could be better as a coach because you are so serious about this. Now, this one takes a little bit of balls, but I think this one's money because this shows that you're not just trying to bug them, that if you really are doing something quote unquote wrong in your messaging, you would love to get some constructive feedback. So here's an example. Hey, I see that you've seen my messages and I understand that maybe this isn't for you and that's totally okay. But I'm in the business of creating wealth both physically and financially. I missed a part right there, but physically and financially for everyone for everyone I work with or for others, right? Not just for yourself. Make sure you include that. So I'm in the business of creating wealth, both physically and financially, for everyone I work with. And I'd like to know what I said wrong in this convo or what you didn't get about coaching so I can be better for the next conversation. Thanks so much. So asking them, listen, like, I get it's not for you. That's totally cool. But I'm trying to be better myself. So what went wrong? Or is there something I missed that I didn't get to share with you that you were confused about? Please let me know so I can be better the next time I talk to somebody, right? And now you're taking a humble stance, and more times than not, guys, like seriously, most of the time, those people, after you say something like that, will finally respond to you and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I haven't been responding, because they were probably busy. In fact, I had a lot of people last week flat out not answer my invites. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to send follow-ups to those people because like they just didn't even answer. I'm like, you know what? Yes, I am. And so I went and I sent follow-ups. Hey, not sure if you saw my message above. And I sent out that generic follow-up. And I had so many people today that said, oh my gosh, I did read. I'm so sorry. I meant to write you back. Yeah, I would totally love, information. And it ended up it turned out really great for me. So those things that we often fear, usually it's all made up in our head and it never ends up the way we pan it out. In our head. It usually pans out differently. The last thing I want to talk about is sneak peeks, guys. We have one coming up on Wednesday. And I want you to really be aware, because the idea for me as a leader is to empower you and to give you the skill set necessary to then go on and be your own boss and to duplicate behaviors and to creatively construct your own team and your own ideas and your own brand, right? But also in the duplication and in constructing, your own kind of thing, are you duplicating those behaviors, right? Is it something that you have such a skill set and such a foundation that you're able to then go and do it? So sneak peeks, for the most part, you guys, are meant to help newer coaches to invite. For me, a sneak peek is not my do-all end-all. I don't rely on sneak peeks. That's one day a month for 1 hour. I don't rely on sneak peeks to dictate whether I sign coaches or not. Because as a coach that's been doing it a while, that's not the avenue that usually signs all the coaches for me, right? But for newer coaches on Inspire Beauty, I host sneak peeks once a month so that those newer coaches who are a little timid on the invitation process and still kind of shy about that, or maybe don't know what to say just yet or how to run a sneak peek, meant for that person to invite to. But if you're the next step, if you're not really a newer coach and you've been a part of a bunch of sneak peeks, I want you to view this one a little differently. I want you to start thinking it as a place for my business building coaches to learn how to run sneak peeks. So I encourage everyone on this team, regardless if you have people in the sneak peek on Wednesday or not, you should be plugged in from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday so that you're learning. So that next month you run your own sneak peek, right? Because then here we are. The next thing is the way I run sneak peeks and the format and the template. It's meant to help our team builders be able to duplicate it. And then once you're able to duplicate it and go out and do it on your own, then you're able to teach it to your downline. Help them be able to invite because they're a little scared and timid. So then you let them invite to your sneak peek. And then once they kind of feel comfortable with the inviting to the sneak peek, then those business building coaches should start learning how to host their own. They're there observing, how do you say this? What are the words you say? What are the common misconceptions? What are the common questions, right? And then from there, we're teaching them how to be a team builder and a team leader and duplicate it, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And that goes for anything really anything I do. It's always it's meant for like modeling it to the newer coaches, kind of walking it. Like it's like the I do, we do, you do. I do it. You see how I do it, right? We do it together and then you do it. And that's like the elementary school teacher in me, but that's what this is. That's how I run everything with the sneak peeks, with free groups. I do it. You get to see how I do it. Now let's do it together. I'll be in your free group and I can give you feedback if you want feedback. And then you grow wings and you fly and you do it. So I am excited for this sneak peek coming up because I'm also excited for you to take this sneak peek and to start crafting your September calendar for how you're going to have an event in order to build your team come September. Oh my gosh. Escape. Okay, there we go. All right, perfect. Yay, I finished in time. Okay, so that's it for that. I am going to unshare. And I'm going to open it up if anybody has questions for me. Let's unmute. Who is, I know Michelle's on. Who else is on right now? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. No questions, Michelle? That makes sense?
No, I have a couple people I want to invite. I don't know where it'll go, but you know, it doesn't hurt to invite. That's why I was reaching out to make sure that that was still the date for the event yesterday.
Yeah. And then when you go to that event page, simply just, you know, you can invite them from the event page too. And then you can shoot a message. Hey, you know, I don't know if you noticed that I invited you to this thing. Compliment them, let them know why they'd be awesome for it. And just let them know, like, no pressure. I love to just like put it in their court, you know, like no pressure at all, because it really isn't, you know.
And even if they don't want to log on then, they can always go back and look at it later. So
Absolutely. I love it. That's awesome. Yay. All right, cool. All right, then I will stop recording and we can hop off. Have a great night, you guys.